Hello and welcome to another Let's Play by me, the GamerWolfSix of Morenatsu, the original Koya's route. On the last Let's Play, it was the day of the contest, and for this Let's Play, we're accompanying Koya to his house. And before I forget, if you're interested in playing this game, you can go down to the link in the description where you can download and play it for free. And also, because this is YouTube, we're going to be skipping over any H scenes. But if you want to see them, you can go to my, for lack of a better name, Pornhub account, where you can see it, but without commentary. And with that, let's start. Alright, I'll wait here. Right. I stopped in front of the house and spoke to Koya. He gave me a nod, but somewhere in there, I could see a bit of apprehension. It should only have been a week since Koya came here, but for me, it's been 5 years. When I thought that, it felt kind of nostalgic. It was the house in front of me, Koya's parents' home, the place where Koya made a promise to Kazumi-san, and now it's a place to reach a conclusion. Yesterday's band contest. We came over today to tell them the results. Now, just wait for me. He looked pointedly at the lights peeking out through the window, then slowly walked inside. I gave him a tiny nod and saw him off. After making sure Koya had gone in, I leaned on a nearby telephone pole to wait. Last time I was house sitting, but this time I'd come along with Koya's request. I thought about whether I should go together, we should go together, but Koya had blushed and said, I want us to go together. There wasn't any other choice. But this is as far as I can go. On the other side of that door is a place I can't enter at the moment. And now, since I'm alone, the night breeze feels a bit chilly. He gave a small sigh and looked upwards. The whole starry sky spread out in front of me. As it continued on forever, it seemed to reflect a bit of myself. It seemed to fill itself with one's own feelings, or at least, so I think. As the door made its usual sound, it opened with a familiar corridor that looked untouched by time. Since the lights weren't turned on, the light came from the living room was the only illumination. I stepped into that gloomy space, and the weight of my chest got heavier. That was my anxiety and tension. That, and the wall that had been built up over half a year. There was nothing else. The combined weight of my feelings gave me pause. I have to do this. I already come this far. I can't go back. There's nothing else but to keep going. My mind kept telling me that, as I took a deep breath. That decided it. What I said at the start, what I would be saying now, all of it. I took a step forward to shed some of the emotions coiling my heart, then stretched my hand out to push open the second and last door. The room I had been dreading greeted me. Only the sound of the clock could be heard, and the door hinges creaked as they showed me in. At the noise, Mom and that person looked towards me. To answer those looks, I didn't hesitate, and I didn't falter. I just spoke the words that I had decided on earlier. I'm back. A little bird chirped, and there were cups placed on the table. Mom had set down drinks for 3, and she sat facing me. Next to her was the father I continued to avoid, sitting there with his eyes closed. The way he was rejecting me hurt, and I wanted to turn my eyes away. But that's not what I came here to do. I made up my mind, and I come all the way here, so looking away from him wouldn't be helpful. Even though he wouldn't look this way, I won't make any rash actions. I focus my attention forward. So it happened. He came all this way over at this hour. Mom must have noticed my intentions, as she opened up the conversation for me. She could already know why I'm here, yet she plays dumb. I gave some thanks inside my heart and took a deep breath. Then I spoke. I came over today to apologize for everything up until now, and for everything after this. Yesterday, there was a big contest. If we did well in it, there was a chance we could make our debut there. My friends and I participated in it. It was always my dream. I always wanted to express something through music to someone. I've always thought that, even before I left. Even now, my feelings on that haven't changed. Back then, you told me. You said that this world is full of people like me. You said to take a closer look at reality. It's true. I thought about that, but I knew, right from the beginning, what I wanted to do was reckless, and didn't have to do it. I'm sure there could always be someone else that could have taken my place, but I wanted to give it a shot. It didn't matter if anyone could do it, I wanted to try it out for myself. And so, if I ever realized it was no good, that might have been okay. If I had tried and failed, I probably would have given up. But I couldn't give up before trying. So I left home. And in half a year, I've made it this far. I've tried to keep going however I could, to struggle onward to the place where I aim for. I had no idea if it was going to be a long journey or not. But during that time, I discovered many things inside myself. That's why I came over today to apologize. Mom, Dad, for everything up until now. All the troubles and worries I've caused you, I'm sorry. It's been a long time coming, but I thought if only I could have spoken more clearly then. I'm truly, honestly sorry for everything. I hung my head a little. With those words, the weight in my chest lifted a little. For half a year, I pretended not to notice my feelings in my heart that came from somewhere. I thought the huge gap between us had gotten a bit smaller, just a little bit. But, however, I can't be satisfied with that. Still, I had so many things I need to say, things I had to get through. It didn't just come here to look back at the past. It also came for the sake of continuing on. But I guess I won't be coming back after all. I think it'll be the same as the first time I left. What I want to do could be done by anyone else, and it was very reckless. Even then, it's not as if it's something I have to do. From the bottom of my heart, I honestly thought that we could make the Grand Prix. Because of that, I want to try and go as far as I can. This might be selfishness, but in the end, I want to go as far as possible until I understand myself. Because of everything that's happened, I don't think you'd be happy with such a simple explanation. I'm not confident I can really explain it either. But if it's possible, for all the things I've done, please forgive me. As I quietly informed him, Mom's face looked a bit lonely. And then, I see. She looked a little bit pale, but she answered me clearly. My chest hurt, but just a little bit. I'm sure that Mom always wanted me to come back. But on the other hand, she always did cheer me on. That must be why she made me promise. If I did well, then she would stop worrying. Maybe. But even if she felt that way, I think she really did want me to come home. Then you've already decided? Yeah. It's not like I'll stop living alone, move back here and pick up from where I left off. It's just, for a little while longer, I want to try walking by myself. You want to try walking by yourself, you say? When he suddenly spoke up, I turned to face him in surprise. Up until now, my dad had sat there with his eyes closed, but from now he's looking straight at me. Do you understand what you just said? The meaning of those words? Rather than questioning, his strong tone implied he was looking for confirmation. It's the same stern demeanor. As I remembered my respect for him, I forgot the words I was about to say. I've always said that life is a series of choices, that there are many different ways to the same end. Originally, one starts out on their own. That never changes, no matter their circumstances. But often, people form connections with others. When someone makes a decision, another choice and outcome becomes closed off. Those would be families, parents, children, and true friends. Close relationships all the more so. People meet and influence each other, then they continue on. When you say you want to walk by yourself, you're saying you'll shoulder all the responsibility of your choices by yourself? Just as you have, ever since you've left? But that by itself is not enough. When you walk alone, you also have to walk the path you picked. Instead of running from your emotions, shoulder your responsibilities. But don't just be stubborn, have some flexibility. It sounds obvious, but it's not that simple. It doesn't help that the path you chose is a thorny one. In the future, it's likely to be even steeper and painful. Keeping a definite goal will become difficult, and if you lose focus for even a moment, you lose track of where you're going. If you ever lose your conviction, you never make your dream come true. It's that deep. Still, you're prepared to go through with this? He asked me that question again. As he threw another pointed look at me, it felt like the temperature in the air dropped. However, that wasn't fear or anxiety pressing in, but more the feeling of my determination. After all, I already decided my answer. This time, I didn't hesitate, and I spoke up. Yeah. Even if something is waiting, I'm going. I see. In that case, wait for a minute. My dad said that as he got up and left the living room. He came back a moment later with a case that looks familiar. It was a guitar case. I don't really know if this is something good. The manager of an instrument store chose it for me. Take it as a farewell gift. Whatever expression I had on my face, I couldn't tell. It was possibly a complete surprise. At the same time, my heart was beating in my ears. I opened up the case on the table carefully as if it would break at any rough treatment. Inside it was an antique guitar, along with a piece of paper. I've seen this at the shop. The guitar could be called a vintage piece. This sort of thing is normally expensive. I've always joked that if I made my debut, I'd go and buy this sometime. Sitting alone on the top was that tiny piece of paper, and I feel like I've seen it somewhere before, but I can't remember where. Do you understand, Koya? What I said before wasn't a lie. If your mind is made up, I won't repeat myself. Don't hesitate. Walk on the path you believe in. Grab your dream with your own hands. It's your life. Yes. That's all I have to say. My dad stood up again, then turned his back to me. "Okay, go in already," he seemed to say. But before he left the room, he looked over his shoulder at me. No, there's one more thing. I don't really understand music, but yesterday's performance was quite good. Come visit us once in a while. When he said that, I remembered. The little scrap of paper in the guitar case. It was a ticket stub from the contest yesterday. When I realized what it was, my eyes grew hot. I stood bolt upright and called out to him, "Thank you, Dad." The dam in my chest unlocked, and my eyes filled with tears. At the edge of my blurred vision, Mom smiled. Emotions. I had no idea how long I've been looking at the sky. When I did notice, a fair amount of time had passed, and Koya was standing in front of me. Is it over? Yeah. I finished it properly. When I saw his clear expression, I felt relieved. I pushed myself off the telephone pole, and the two of us walked slowly along the road. Our shadows stretched out along the country path. I walked back to the apartment. Koya told me about what happened. He told me about how he planned to keep going with the band and not return home. About how his dad forgave him. And now, about the guitar he was holding. He seemed a bit embarrassed as his tail wagged, but he relaxed a little as he spoke. I'm glad, really. Hey, Dark? After he got back inside, Koya called me while I was looking out the window. The lights weren't even on yet. From now, will you give me a moment? Okay, but what's going on? What do you have to sound so formal for? Nothing. I wanted you to be the first to hear me play it on this. When he said that, he held the guitar case he was given. That seems to be it. Well, I certainly don't mind, but you sure? About me being first? Out of the gutter. Wouldn't it be better to play it tomorrow, in front of Kasuke-san and the other? Koya quietly shook his head as he spoke. It's true that I want to tell everyone tomorrow, but I want you to be the first to hear it. Koya's eyes shone in the moonlight as they looked at me. I've always thought this, but this particular expression is so mean. I can never refuse him when he looks at me like that. Oh, okay. Well, although I tried to resist, I was honestly happy. I didn't plan on saying no. In that case, I guess I'll take you up on that. Koya smiled at that response. Then he sat down in the chair as he opened up the case. I sat down next to him and waited. I thought about turning on the lights, but as there were plenty of lights from the window, I stopped. I wanted to try listening to this kind of atmosphere in this. Koya took out the guitar and gave the strings a flick to test them. 6 notes echoed in the room in a rough chord. Without saying anything, Koya immediately started tuning it. Each time he strummed the strings, the sounds started to harmonize, and when it was complete, it felt nice. Soon, after turning the 6th string, and Koya winked at me, I picked up on that and replied with a nod. Then, Koya slowly started playing a song. I knew what song it was from the first few chords. Yesterday's contest. It was the second song they played, the one Koya had written, that song. There was no bass, drums, or vocals. It was a piece played only with the guitar. And then there was a piano for some reason. Sorry. It felt even more heart-rending than when all 4 of them played it. Even so, the notes wrapping around me felt warm and gentle. The calming effect was like being gently rocked by ocean waves. It's also as if the guitar itself was carrying me along on its sound. However, I'm sure it wasn't just that. I'm sure it came together with Koya's feelings and made the notes even deeper. I stayed silent, and the reverberated note shook me. As that happened, time passed in the blink of an eye. Koya plucked out the last note and ended with it trailing out peacefully. Then my clap took place. Sorry. I think I know what's gonna happen and my mind's been in the gutter. I sincerely apologize to my viewers. It would have been nice to tell him my first impressions, but I couldn't find the words for it. So clapping was all I could do. Sorry for being so selfish. No, it's not like that. I like hearing you play. Hearing the one I love say that really makes me happy. It feels kind of uncomfortable to hear Koya say that. Even though he told me to my face before, I guess I'm still not used to it. I unintentionally looked down at the floor. When he saw that, he gave me a small laugh. When I heard that laugh, I looked up in indignation, but Koya's whole face filled my field of vision, then passed right next to mine. At the same time, my body was wrapped up in furry warmth. Having things like this, being able to play this guitar, and the fact I can keep going after my dream, it's all pretty much thanks to you, Dark. That's not true. It's because of you. Because everyone works so hard. I didn't do anything but support you. Since he was whispering so close to my ear, I ended up fumbling a bit. My heart pounded wildly as a pair of hands wrapped firmly around my back. But if you didn't support me, I would never have gotten to this point. I'll say it again. I am truly thankful. Thanks, Dark. At the edge of my vision, I saw Koya appear as a mirror's reflection. Like a mirror's reflection. The hand he put on my shoulder felt kind of hot. This might be because I felt excited, or maybe because I'm nervous, but I suddenly forgot how to blink. Our faces slowly parted, but our eyes didn't break away. In that instant, Koya looked straight at me. In the next, our lips pressed together. Lips separated almost immediately. My mouth opened up in protest at that, and as though he waited for it, Koya took my lips again. This time, they didn't just touch, as his tongue pressed in and made it more indulgent kiss. That long tongue slowly moved around inside my mouth. Kissing sounds. Because of that warmth, a ticklish sort of numbness spread throughout my body again. My inner cheeks, my tongue, everywhere else. It's like I was beginning to float away, like I was drifting off. Gradually, I stopped thinking. I stopped wanting to think. I just want to stay like this. The hand Koya put on my back moved down my back again, then strongly pulled me into a tight embrace. As if to keep pace with its movements, he pressed his tongue in more forcefully. More kissy sounds. And some from Koya. On top of me, Koya really got into the kiss, as his tongue started wrestling with mine. Still, this is alright for YouTube, I would have to say. You can't see anything and there isn't any, to something past PG-13. The sense of time disappeared, and the moment stretched out forever. Still, that wasn't eternity. Soon, our long kiss ended. A slight cool night air filled my mouth. For a second, my fuzzy feeling headed clear. I noticed that before. You really like kisses, huh? He's a dog. Dogs love kisses. Maybe. I'm not really aware about it, but you can probably say that. But with you, it's even more pleasant and intense. After saying that, Koei kissed me once more, then pushed me onto the bed. As I laid back, shirt got pulled up a little, and Koei put his hand on my exposed skin. Sorry for that cut right there, but you know, YouTube's policies. So, back to the rest of the episode. I closed my eyes and basked in the warmth of the afterglow. And with that cut, we're gonna end it right here. So, I'd like to thank you all for watching another Let's Play by me, the GamerWolfSix of Morenatsu, the original Koei's route. If you're interested in playing this game, you can go down to the link in the description where you can download and play it for free. And if you just want to go see that H scene, just look for my username on Pornhub. It's kind of weird saying that. It's just going to be the same username, GamerWolfSix. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Please comment, because like comments tell me to like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out other videos to help it grow. And please spay and neuter your animals to help control the pet population. And until next time on Let's Play by me, the GamerWolfSix of Morenatsu, the original Koei's route. Thanks and see ya.